first you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you'll see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Haley Reese, and 2 days. It has only been 2 days of not uploading since I went 31 days of straight uploading, and it felt like my life was incomplete. Like, it's so strange how you get so into the habit of things so quickly. Coming on here, sharing my experiences, talking with you guys, bringing you guys along to places with me has become my favorite part of any day. And it's so strange how much I've missed it, only giving myself a 2-day break. So hi guys, happy November. I am so excited to be back for yet another month of uploading for you guys. You guys are just my entire world, and today I have chosen a very special story from my childhood to kind of lighten up the spirits. I told some pretty spooky stuff for the Halloween month, and trust me, I got some pretty spooky stuff to talk about this month too, but I thought, why not share another one of my beautiful yet chilling, it's still creepy in the way of the spirit world is mind-blowing and unpredictable and can really change your life for the positive or the worse in some situations. But it's a beautiful story, and it's one that I've always thought about anytime I think about people saying like the spirit world doesn't exist, because this is one of those experiences where it's like there's no denying what was about to happen. So if you guys want to hear the story of the time that a ghost actually saved my life, then all you gotta do is just keep on watching today's video. Very quickly though, I just want to say, if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Haley. My family on here is the Reese's Pieces, and if you do enjoy my videos, I would love it if you would stick around, click subscribe, so that you never miss a video and be a part of our very, very amazing family. Okay, so I had told you guys so many times, I'm so sorry for when I get repetitive for those of you who have been here for quite a while or have watched all of my videos. But you guys know that I grew up in my grandparents' house, which is like my haunted house, crazy. I'm actually considering taking a trip to that house, knocking on the doors of the new owners and seeing if they'll talk to me. I get a little bit nervous. I've told you guys I kind of have a little bit of social anxiety, so confrontational things or like just showing up at people's places is something that gives me a little bit of anxiety, but I think that it's important to challenge ourselves in life sometimes, and I won't know until I try. So let me know if you guys want me to do that. But you guys know that that house was very, very haunted. I then moved into the house that my mom had saved very hard for and worked very hard for between the age of like 7 to 10, I would say. Somewhere in between there, it's a little bit blurry, but it was around that time. Now that house actually had some pretty strange activity in it as well, but it was nowhere near as haunted and not as many people had experiences. I really think that I was one of the only people who continuously had experiences and who has had experiences in almost every house that I've lived in. But the basement occupied a very nasty female spirit, and I'm gonna do a whole video on that. Because you guys said you want to hear it. But anyways, every now and then it was almost as though I would have like spirits passing through. And I find that that's kind of a theme throughout my life in general. I think that I'm somebody who attracts spirits. And it could be because I can see them and I can hear them and I've had so many experiences and my heart and my mind are open. Or it could just be that I'm just somebody that my energy is just that attracts different types of energies and different types of spirits. But I've always had these experiences throughout my life. Now, when I was a baby, I had meningitis, and I'm pretty sure that my family's spirit that has been around my family for a long time, who we've titled the Woman in White, saved my life and forced my mom. Actually, I know that that's what happened, but it's up. I mean, some people don't believe that, but I had a spirit save my life when I was 9 months old and forced my mom to check on me, to find me blue and unconscious, and I would have completely died if I wasn't checked on and if she didn't open the bedroom door and like tell my mom to go in. You guys have seen that video. That's my Woman in White video. The Woman in White also saved my uncle when he was buried alive, and my sister has actually been saved by angels. I truly believe that. Like, that That story gives me the most goosebumps. But another time in my life, I was actually saved by a spirit that I feel had no attachment towards me other than the fact that I was a child and something very, very bad was about to happen. So in the week leading up to the final incident where my life was actually in danger, I would fall asleep every single night. Now there was a period of time where I kind of had difficulty sleeping. It was around the time where I had my fear of mirrors because I would see a woman in the mirror. It was around the time where I felt the woman in the basement starting to come upstairs and taunt me upstairs, and I just was having a difficult time sleeping in my own room, which is strange because I've always been a very independent person, even as a child. You know, my mom used to always joke that when I went to kindergarten, all the other kids were crying and hugging their moms, and I'm like, bye mom, see you after school. I've always been a very independent, self-doing type of person. And so this was around the time that my sleeping schedule and my sleeping patterns were really off. Just because I had difficulty sleeping. I actually made a home under my blankets, and I thought that I was safe under it. Let me know if you guys did that too. I would pull my blankets over my head and go to sleep. So this was a few months after one of the recent stories I told you guys where the 3 men broke into my house. And it was a few months of kind of being taunted and tortured, but not tortured to an extreme, just really being messed with by this angry, negative female spirit in the basement. So I was very closed off at this point in time to seeing things. I was very afraid. And so let me very, very quickly explain to you guys how my bedroom was set up. So I had my really nice bed. Why does that matter? My really nice bed. I had my bed in the middle of the room, and then over in the corner I had this CD player that was the cool thing, and you would put your actual CD into it and then it would play, and that was plugged in to the same extension cord that my big fat TV was plugged into as well, that my VHS thing was plugged into as well. And so it was this big mess of wires and things, and I had an alarm clock plugged into it. It was just a whole bunch of stuff plugged into one extension cord, which I mean doesn't sound the smartest thing, but it was what we had done. It was what I had done. Mostly me. I was plugging everything in. I was like, whoa, give me the power. No, but honestly. One night of this week, I woke up and I see a woman standing in my room. And this is clear as day. And I'm looking at this woman and she's pointing to this extension cord going, no, 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 no. If you guys have seen the movie Get Out, which I loved that movie was amazing. You know when the woman's staring and she's going, no, 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 no. It was kind of like that, but not so scary. It was more of she was just kind of freaking out over these wires and stuff. And so I started to get afraid because I could sense that she was afraid. I could feel the different mutual energy between us. And so I pulled my big comforter over my head and I went to my safe space in my head, which was this really nice land of fairies and butterflies, and I visualized that since I was a kid. And I would hear this particular song that I can still hear in my head that doesn't exist. It was just the song that played in this land that I went to. And that was kind of my happy place. Looking back now as an adult and having done research on energies and stuff, that was my way of vibrating high vibrations. And so I'm vibrating these high vibrations. I'm trying to go to my happy place, and I keep peeking out from the blanket, and she's still standing there pointing at the thing going, no, 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 no. And I'm like, this woman won't go away, because normally I'm very good at going to my happy place or vibrating a high vibration or saying a prayer, and when I look again, that negative or evil thing is gone. So I'm like, this woman will just not go away. So finally I'm like, hey, she's just minding her business. I go back under the blanket and I fall asleep because I was too scared to actually get up and run to my mom's room, which is what I would normally do, but I was just too afraid. So I laid there sleeping. This happened for about 3 consecutive nights in a row. I would wake up and I would see this woman. She would fixate on the same extension cord thing in my room and just go on and on and on and on. One night, I'm actually shook awake by this spirit. Now that is a very strong spirit or a very strong-willed spirit. They say if a spirit can move things or if a spirit can touch you or physically do something within the physical world, you should be more cautionary towards it, just because that demonstrates that they have a very strong energy and they're able to, do things in our dimension, in our physical realm. So it can mean, one, that it's like a negative spirit that can actually do harm, or it can just be a spirit that may not even typically have that much strength, but is so strong-willed in doing something within this world that it can. And what I mean by this is, like, let's say you have a loved one who really wants to like give you a sign, or like wants to physically touch you, whatever. They can get that will within them to be able to do that. So this is what I think happened with her, but she was jolting me awake. And I wake up and now she's not just saying no. And I'm like, guys, this is so much of the truth. Like, I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm getting goosebumps while talking about it. It's so crazy. So this time she wasn't just saying like, no, no, no. She was speaking. And she literally says to me, there's gonna be a fire, there's gonna be a fire. You need to wake up your mom and you need to fix this. There's gonna be a fire. And I'm like, what do you mean there's gonna be a fire? And she's like, go get your mom. Just go get your mom, okay? She's gonna make it better. And I'm like, okay. So I remember I jumped out of bed and I go into my mom's room, and I thought at this point in time, you guys, this was a real woman. Like, I remember thinking this was just like a woman that kept coming into my room. Like, I never thought like a ghost is in my room. So I went into my mom's room and I'm like, Mommy, there's a woman in my room saying there's gonna be a fire. And at first my mom's like, Haley, like, go to sleep, blah, blah, because I'd been waking her up for months saying that there's an angry woman in the basement, there's an angry woman on the stairs, there's an angry woman here, and every time she would come to look, there was no angry woman. And so she's telling me, Haley, blah, blah, and I said, Mommy, she says there's gonna be a fire, there's gonna be a fire, you have to unplug this. And at this point, Mom's like, what do you mean there's gonna be a fire? So my mom jumps out of bed and she's like, where is there gonna be a fire, Haley, show me. So she rushes into my room with me and I say like, and the woman's gone. By the way, I get into the room, this woman is nowhere in sight. Nowhere. And so I'm like, right there, she says that this is gonna catch fire. And when my mom goes over to this extension cord, it is so hot, and like where one of the plugs, like one of the things that was plugged in was kind of like half unplugged, it was like sparking, you guys. And so my mom realizes that this is being like overdone, like there's too many things within it that are staying plugged in for too long and turned on, and it's now becoming an actual fire hazard. So my mom has to like turn the thing off and like unplug it all and like leave it to like cool or whatever. And when she went to like move the thing, it was actually making like black marks on my carpet because it was so hot. Like this extension cord piece was so hot that it was starting to like burn my carpet. So now my mom is freaking the heck out because she's like, okay, my kid doesn't just wake up in the middle of the night and say there's a woman in her room, that there's gonna be a fire, and now the floor is like starting to burn. So she's asking me, Haley, who was this woman? And I'm like, I don't know. I've seen her lots of nights, Mom. She comes in, she says, no, no, no. I tell her the whole story basically. And then I tell her that she shook me awake and she said, go get your mommy, there's gonna be a fire, this needs to be fixed. And sure enough, there was probably going to be a fire, and she probably sensed it for days to come. And she probably did save my life. And the craziest part about this is I never saw her again. Never. Never have I ever actually seen this woman ever again. She disappeared the moment that I went to go get my mom, probably because she knew like my work here is done. So call it an angel, call it a spirit, call it my subconscious. And I knew, I don't know, you guys, all I know is something woke me up in the night. Something told me there was gonna be a fire, go get my mom, and when my mom came in, an extension cord was way too hot, starting to have like little sparks like where the outlet thing meets, and turning my nice white carpets brown from being burnt. What do you guys think of today's story? This story is really special to me just because, let me tell you why. What I mean by when I said earlier, this is one of those stories where like when you don't believe, you don't really have a choice, because it's validation for me as the person who experienced it that something told me there's going to be a fire. And when I went and physically looked in my physical body, in my physical realm, looked to the floor, and I see that it's actually starting to burn my carpet, that this really is a fire hazard, it just goes to show that these spirits are not just figments of the imagination, that they're real. And I think until you really experience it your own self, you won't really be able to fathom something so unbelievable. But if you ever have an experience, I hope that it's one like this, or the woman in white, or like when my grandpa visits, and it's something beautiful and wonderful and God sent, if you believe in God. I don't know, you guys. Do you think it was an angel? Do you think it was maybe a deceased family member? I don't know. Do you think it was a spirit passing through? What do you think of today's story? Have you guys experienced anything like this? Has a spirit ever given you a warning? Has a spirit guide? let me know in the comments below what you guys think of today's story. I kind of wanted to start November off on a lighter, more positive note. You guys know we talk about some creepy things here on this channel, but my ultimate goal is to just bring light and love and positivity and enlightenment into each and every one of your lives. And so I thought, let's start November off with one of those stories. If you guys enjoyed today's video, but you are not yet subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I post a ton of videos. I miss you guys when I don't post for 2 days, so you know you're gonna be getting a lot of videos, and I would just love it. And also, on that note, if you did enjoy it, please give this video a big thumbs up. It makes my heart super happy when you guys do that, genuinely, so please do that. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.